I'm Brater-Winter from Brater-Winter Funeral Home, and I'm here today with Lori Hartman from Cincinnati Equitable Life Insurance Company. You might be wondering, why do I have a life insurance agent here or a life insurance company representative here today? But the real reason of why we have that is because by law, when you go to a funeral home and you want to prepay your funeral, you can't pay it directly to the funeral home. A lot of people think you can, but you can't. And that's for safety of you, the consumer, but it's also for the flexibility that, if the funeral home went out of business, you've not lost your money. It can go to any other company. And so Lori's here from Cincinnati Equitable. So Lori, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yep, so as Jolene said, I'm Lori Hartman. I'm from St. Leon, Indiana, and I've been in the funeral industry for about 10 years.
Perfect. So when we talk about funeral and funeral benefits or pre-planning benefits, from your perspective, what are two benefits that you see in pre-planning?
The two biggest benefits would be the emotional aspect and the financial aspect.
Okay, so I would agree with the emotional part, definitely, because when somebody has passed away, there's a lot of emotion running, and especially if it's unexpected.
Yes.
I see the overspending, where if somebody maybe got in a fight the night before and then they passed away in their sleep, and then they come in and they want the best. But I also see the other part of that is the underspending, where people don't know what somebody has, and maybe that person never talked to them about the financial aspect of what they have, and they have nothing, and they're going based on that, and then to find out later that they have excess setting aside just for this situation. So I do see the overspending and also the underspending. And the financial aspect of it is a great point as well, because when I sit down with people for pre-planning, I'm usually saying, okay, there's two parts of this. The first part is really going through and writing down from A to Z of what you want, and we'll give you a cost on that of everything. If a death happened today, this is what it would cost. And then the next part is talking about the financial part, is how are you going to pay for it? And some people say, well, I've got this life insurance policy, and we talk about the pros and the cons of using a life insurance policy. Most insurance policies out there, some of them keep up with inflation. Others, they might be a $5,000 policy that will always be a $5,000 policy. And in a situation like that, it's not going to cover a $5,000 policy or funeral 10 years from now,
Right,
because it's not keeping up. And so from Cincinnati Equitable, when we put the money with them, that money actually accumulates interest to cover the future costs. That's how we can guarantee our part of it. When people are paying for it, are there payment options, Lori?
There absolutely are, Jolene. You have the 1 year same as cash, or you can do a 3-year, a 5-year, or a 10-year payment plan. So there's a lot of flexibility for you.
I knew that, but so there is a 1 year same as cash. So if you had a $5,000 funeral and you wanted to pay it over time, you could do that. And some of you might be saying, well, I'm really not that healthy and I can't get a life insurance policy because I've been declined. Do you accept anybody?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and
no physicals,
nothing on that nature, and we can put it over 12 months, same as cash. Now, it's just like any life insurance policy, I think, in that aspect of, a lot of times if you're unhealthy or if you've got health issues, it won't pay the full amount of the policy for at least 2 years.
Correct.
After 2 years, then it will pay the full death benefit. But that's just kind of common for any policy. But if you're perfectly healthy and you come in here and make one payment and I died, would your company pay the funeral?
You would still get paid out.
So that is the benefit on that pre-planning policy as well. And I think when we look at the whole realm of pre-planning just makes sense, because you are able to, save your family from doing, making decisions that really
Takes
is
out a lot of guesswork.
It does. It
well.
does. Have you had a family member that has passed away that that you've had to deal with that?
We have, yeah. I've actually planned a few funerals, and let me tell you, it's quite a process, at least in our aspect, right? Because we had it where we had way too many people trying to make decisions, versus if we would have just taken care of it as we should have, we wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah. And I know from my perspective, I know my mother-in-law passed away 7 years ago and we didn't have anything taken care of. And so, we were getting input from like the 6 kids of like what kind of casket. And some are like, we don't care. And the other ones are like, well, we want this. And then they come back to me because I was in the funeral industry at the time and like, you spent too much money in that casket. I'm like, I didn't do anything with that because I'm the in-law. I didn't want to have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
And I know my father-in-law, after my mother-in-law passed away, he kept on me. He was like, I want to prepay my funeral. I want to prepay my funeral. And I want to say, the day we were leaving the funeral home, he's like, now if something happens to me, I want the same thing. And I'm like, let's just get through one funeral first. Honestly, that was me from the funeral standpoint.
Right.
And, and so from that perspective, we did it. And when he just passed away on the 16th of January, and it made so much easier because everything was already pre-planned and we knew what he wanted. I mean, he picked out his readings and all that other type of stuff.
Yeah.
So everything was done.
Just makes it easier.
It was so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
So that is really one of the benefits of, major planning funeral 101. But when we go through some of these, we're going to have some more of these little videos. Hopefully they help you. That's really all that they're there for, is just to make you a more informed consumer. And if you have questions, you can always call us at 513-367-4005. And I'm Jolene Winter. I'm a licensed funeral director, also an insurance agent, and an embalmer. People don't think that. I do it all. But if you have questions, please feel free to give us a call, or you can even email us at info@braterfh.com. Thank you.